All right, everyone, welcome back to the fourth trimester as we consider different healing modalities and things to consider within the first 40 days after baby. This part, we're going to consider healing. Let me move my little face around. And so we're going to look at both emotional and physical components of healing after birth. So first of all, there's this big consideration of how much movement and how much rest, right? And in today's world, I will say that most people opt for moving a lot. And when we move a lot, it does not allow our body to get really restorative and to heal. We might stay in that sympathetic state instead of the parasympathetic state. Our parasympathetic state is where we actually are able to heal. And so over the first 40 days, spending more time horizontal, slower movements, even just being gentle with yourself as you're learning so much, are going to, again, really contribute to the next 40 years. And so you may consider gentle stretching, moving opposite to how your body is typically, right? So if you're breastfeeding and you're more in a forward curled state, maybe when you move through a door frame, you put our hands on either side of that door frame and stretch back, right? Just things like that, being mindful for how your body's moving differently. You really have nothing to prove by fitting back into some pants or, walking to meet a friend or, participating fully in Thanksgiving. This is a rest state. This is revolutionary to the modern woman to take that time. You're really not going to get any other time like this off of work with people checking in on you ever again. And so why not utilize it? You may consider that your birth deserves some airtime, right? That you need to share what happened to you. This is best done with a trusted professional, such as a therapist or some, maternal health providers do these structures of birth story debriefs. Sharing the full story, right? Of course, people are going to ask you how it goes, and you're going to find your elevator pitch. You're going to find and be quick to recognize when people are seriously asking and when they just want yeah, it was good. It was hard, but it was good, right? There's going to be a few people that you can really dive in. If there were any witnesses at your birth, such as your partner, a doula, a friend, sister, whatever, I would even encourage you to turn on the audio note file folder on your phone and just record everyone else's recollections of that time period, right? There's going to be things that you didn't know you were doing that they can, highlight for you and say, wow, this was so amazing when you asked for water in this way. I could really tell that things were progressing because of it, etc. If there are parts you have questions on or they're unsettling or you don't know why something happened, you can always request your birth medical records, and that can really help create a timeline for yourself. Great. When it comes to these physical healing components, you can see here that this is a really nice setup for a sitz-bath. There are a million things that you can dive into to help your body heal. This is a really simple one. It's just simply a warm salt bath for your perineum, your vulva, and everything in between. You really are going to be sitting in this area, submerging all of your bottom parts. You can even add some herbs to it if you would like, but whatever is really repetitive and easily done so each day is going to be helpful. No matter if you have stitches or had a cesarean birth, this is still going to really be beneficial to that area. Mainly because, your pelvic floor, your vagina really took on a lot of pressure, and so there will be some swelling, and this helps circulate the blood, circulate the fluids. The pelvic floor is our queen in postpartum. Of course, it is the upstanding citizen in the birth and in pregnancy as well, as it takes on this extra weight. And so as you check in with your pelvic floor, right, maybe have a bit of inability to retain your urine all the way, or feeling a lot of pressure, these movements, again, are going to be really helpful in that early phase, just starting out super gentle with yourself and using a lot of breath work. This comes from the Belly Whisperer. She's got a lot of great programs, and you can dive in more there. Would definitely recommend hiring a pelvic floor therapist as well, as they can tell you specifically which exercises and which areas of the pelvic floor you need to strengthen. If you had a cesarean, this would be one of the things you would do, which is around scar mobilization. And this is also true of anyone that had any tearing, right? There's still scar tissue there. And so that scar tissue needs to be mobilized in order for the nerves to be rebuilt, for numbness not to follow. And so these are some indirect ways. And then, as you can see in this picture, direct ways to mobilize that scar tissue. It's going to look more after the 6-week time frame, but this is well within the first 40 days or the 4th trimester. Awesome. Stick around for the third part of this. We're going to be diving into the village, right? Who are these people, the healers and the helpers?